All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our training call today. And we always train on a myriad of things here, just as a highlight here. Oftentimes, we can train on our opportunity and the timing of it. We can train on the compensation plan and how you can develop high positive cash flow and how you can structure your business to take advantage of the full opportunity that we have. We also do a training specifically on our corporate benefits. Oftentimes we have our TPA that comes in to join us on that particular training that we have to do those type of things and make sure we get questions answered and all that stuff. And then we also train on our estate planning software. And in doing so, there we go through a myriad of different pieces there as well, from demoing the product to answering questions about, I think last time we did a comparison on other different types of software in the marketplace and various different pieces is there. So what I want to be able to address is here today in our training is to be able to go through a couple of pieces here and on the estate planning software. I would like to be able to do that with us today. And the first thing that I'm going to, here we are, that I want to be able to bring forth is, here we go, is the, when you're all said and done with your plan, you went through the whole interview process. You funded it. You put all the properties, the cars, the vehicles, artworks. Remember, guys, there's about 18 tabs of different topics to address for assets to be able to be attached to your estate plan so that you can be able to help it to be funded, right? This there. And then there's a 19th tab, which says other. That's to make sure that everything is included and is addressed. Okay. So you've gone through that whole process. Then you come to a situation where you are now having to have your document become that official document. Okay. And in doing that, you've heard us say, you have to get a notary signed and you also have to have it witnessed, right? We always say that, which is true, okay? However, we're gonna dive into this a little bit, and this is something that is yet to show up on your back office, but it will, hopefully very soon, this there. And you're guided, or the client, I should say, the subscriber is guided appropriately at the end, but it's just good for you to know up front in certain scenarios. So I wanna point it out to you here in what I am going to share with you today. All right. So you can get it notarized directly, or you can, meaning in person, or you can do a RON, a remote online notary. These are very important in order for that document to be the true document, the official document. Let me also state that your president and professor here, he is, and I'm tagging along and working right there with them. We're putting things in place to make us excellent. And this is just really, universally inspired. I'll use that word or terminology. And what do I mean by that? Well, we can go out there, we can offer our estate plan to the world, and we can get a gazillion people to sign up and to subscribe and to get it, right? But until they actually put their estate plan in place and until they actually fund it and until they actually get it notarized and witnessed, it's a high possibility that they'll still be on probate, right? And believe it or not, you may say, well, somebody's going to go through this, they're going to do it. There's always going to be that percentage of people that will get it and be like, oh, where's that password to get into that software that I bought, 18 months ago? So we don't want to let that down, and we want to make sure we have automated systems in place. So as we're looking through and putting together marketing pieces, we're also looking for the full marketing pieces, which includes what I'm about to mention to you. Not just the prospective clients for our corporate benefits, prospective clients for our estate planning software, prospective clients or prospective affiliates and prospective advocates, but for our existing subscribers to be able to have set up for them a drip to say to them, have you reviewed your estate plan? It's been a year. You're about to pay your $49.95. Want to make sure have you reviewed. Go in and make some changes. Did you buy any new properties or things to be able to bring ideas into their mind of what did I do this past year? Did I do anything to expand? Did I even set it up? Did I sign up and set it up? You know, we're built, we WTA, we're built to have incentives. So we're looking at putting in incentives that say, hey, not only got your estate plan, but man, you went in there and got it set into place and funded there. And so we want to congratulate you for that. You know, people go where they're celebrated and not just tolerated. So we're looking at those type of things. So with that being said, let me apprise you to share screen. And I want to share screen number 3. Let me apprise you to this document. All right, so I should be sharing now. Are you guys seeing this comprehensive estate planning signature guide? All right, thumbs up. This is important to know. All right. Thanks for all the thumbs up, guys. I appreciate that. If you have a single grantor, that means it's a trust for one person, right? Here is the total pages that need to be signed or initiated, and which are 8, and the number of pages that need to be notarized, which is 6, right? All of these have to be witnessed. This there, okay? The revocable living trust. There's 3 pages that need to be signed and or initialed. 2 that need to be notarized. Last and will, 1 and 1. Certificate of trust, 1 and 1. All the rest of them are 1 and 1 except for the last one, which we'll look at in a moment. The financial power of attorney, 1 and 1. Healthcare power of attorney, 1 and 1. Advance directive, just sign. Doesn't need to be notarized on that one, but they all need to be witnessed. This is important because you typically pay per signature or stamp and notary and all that stuff that's there so people can have an idea and know, right? What needs to be done that's there and where. And it's also to make sure that it was done correctly, right? Because, you know, if you're printing it out to be able to get it done, or if you're doing it online, you want to make sure that you have your checkbox that you can go through and say, okay, everything was actually done. All right, that's important. Now, got a married couple that's here. This is what's going to happen here. Now, you're going to have 17 and 9 that's there, right? And there's different pieces that's there, what pages need to be signed, initialed, and notarized, and witnessed, okay? It's important to know that witnesses must be unrelated persons with no interest in the estate. They should not be beneficiaries, successor trustees, or recipients of any bequests or bequests, right? Now you want to bring all your documents, proper identification, witnesses, if necessary, payment. If you choose to use a mobile notary service, make sure to be at the specific location at the agreed upon time. All right. So we had some people say, hey, can you really use a mobile notary, or can you really use a remote notary? Yes, you can. Okay. Now, the notary will ask for and must review identification for all signers before instructing you to sign the document. If all signatures have been notarized, your documents will be valid and legal. All right, so this is not a complicated piece. It's a simple piece that's there. It's a great piece to be able to have. It's a document that's highlighted throughout the actual software itself, but it's always good to be able to have that guide that's there, because this is important, because without getting this done, as well as like the funding and stuff, it falls right back to the same placement of it was all done for naught. All right. Does anyone have any questions or comments regarding the signature guide here? Okay, I guess that's simple. It makes sense. No question. Brian, were you trying to comment, or you just opened up your, okay, good. All right, very good. All right. So let me bring up a question. What happens if a person has their single dynamic, and they are single and they have it, but they find their soulmate and they get married? What happens then? Anybody willing to talk about that? No? Everybody said, nah, I'm either already married to my soulmate, or I'm single and I'm not looking for my soulmate. That may not be my thing. Okay. All right, let's just address it. Oh, did somebody unmute?
I was gonna say they'll need a new estate plan.
Bang! Exactly. Exactly on that part, and they could be able to, be able to replace, the one that they already have, that's set up for their single dynamic. There are some instances, if you have other assets, where you can leave that be if there's no changes to have there, and then you could be able to have another one that has other things that's in there. That has been done before, where you could do that. I think there are some states, though, that have some other criteria on that. So I'm not an attorney. We don't provide legal services on there. But you can use the dynamic to definitely establish a new one that's on there. All right. To be able to create joint dynamics that are in place. Anyway, this is an important piece. It's something that I think it's important for you to know that's out there. You should be seeing that soon, arriving soon on your virtual back office. It's there. The other questions or comments anyone wants to make regarding the Comprehensive Estate Planning Signature Guide? Okay. No? All right, very good. Well, let's dive in.
I have a question.
Sure.
Sorry about that. This is Renee.
Hey, Renee, how are you?
Sorry, I'm driving. I couldn't get to the button in time. But
just be safe. Just be safe first.
Yes. With that signature page, is that something that we will email to the subscriber, or is that something that's going to be automatically sent to the subscriber?
So the guide, the guide, I'm sorry, the guide, the software itself has everything earmarked within it. But this is something, and it kind of cues you on it as well. But this is something that we could be able to provide them kind of as a walkaway sheet, a handy sheet, or something of that nature, if we desire it. If you desire to, it's a good touch. It's a good way to be able to touch them if you like. To have all that in place, right? It's there and it's available for you. Okay. We are not. It's a very, very good question. I appreciate you asking it. But let me be very clear. All right. Yes.
Got another question. All right. Talking about the signatures. So and I just started working through my plan, my software. I already hit a question. I'll ask that later. But the stuff that has to be notarized, this is going to be online stuff. So will we have to print stuff, have it notarized, and then upload it again? Can we do stuff electronically without printing it? And if so, I mean, obviously, if we can do it electronically, it's legal. I just know in doing real estate, there's like doing deeds. some clerks don't like you to do DocuSign and stuff has to be done in person. So I just want to ask about signing, once it's notarized, what do we do with it then? How do we deal with that paperwork?
Two ways to be able to notarize it. Great question. Two ways to be able to notarize it. You can come and then print it all out and then take it to a notary to get it signed. You can do that. That can be done. Or once it's all done, you can print the PDF, keep it electronic, use a online notary, which they call a remote online notary, or RON. And you can use a RON and then get it, and you'll participate in some video call, whether it be a Zoom or Team or a NetMeet or whatever it is that you're going to do, and then do it with the RON and set it up that way, and then it'll all be electronic. If you happen to print it out and you want to save it in your vault, then that would require scanning it back in to be able to get it into the secured vault. Those options are, I think I hit all of the possible options there. But yeah, those are options that you have for that. And you can do a remote online notary, I believe in all the states. Yeah, you can. Yes, hands raised. Claudia Jeffers, how are you?
I am great. Thank you very much. I have a question because I've been doing these for quite some time, the old-fashioned way. And most states require that, well, the states that I've done require that the notary witness the signature of the witnesses as well as the grantor. So is that not so with this software? Have the rules changed?
No. So in order for them to notarize this, yes, I'm still sharing. Yeah. So they're going to notarize, yes, their signature as well as the witness.
So all four have to be present before the notary can notarize, correct?
That's right. They'll either be present by way of RON, the conference, or they'll be present if you're doing it in person. They have to be present in person. That's correct.
Okay.
So the four, to be clear, because it may be more than four, but it would be the grantors, whether that's one or two, it would be the notary, and it would be the two witnesses. So
yeah, that could
be
five.
four to five. That's right. That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
It seems then to make sense to do it and do a PDF or have the document complete, as opposed to getting, the last will and testament notarized, and then later getting the power of attorney notarized, and so forth and so on.
Oh yeah, you want to be able to have everything done at one time. You want to be complete with it, so you can bring all of these to get them all done. You don't want to piecemeal them now. Great question. And comments also.
Hey, Derek, Ron, how you doing?
Hey, Ron. Well, thank you.
Hey, just for anybody that may be interested, I did a little bit of research. I dropped a website in the chat just to give some folks an idea of what that online notary process looks like for the state of Maryland. So if you're interested, you can just take a look at it. If that seems like it's something that you want to do, then there you go.
Trying to open a link. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so notarize.com. They have it. That's a good one. There's others that's there too, and they have the pricing of it. And that's what popped up when I clicked on that link. I did it twice, it seems there. Yeah. Yeah, so I think, let me make sure that did you share that link with everyone? Give me a second. I will look and see. I did. It's only going to chat to me. Yeah, it looks like it was only to me. So let me see if I can copy it. Let me copy by
Hey, Derek, is it possible, for you all to maybe send that information out in an email? Like a recap from the training, like I'm driving, I won't be able
Yes.
to click on that, but I was just
No,
saying,
you won't. Yeah.
nope. Like
It's
anything
to-
that is particular shared, maybe it could be like a recap where you send out. So I think we all get the email about WTA Earn and Learn when we have those events, but maybe it could be a link of information for us,
Yes.
or just the email attachment with the link. Thank you.
No problem. Let me go this way. That is pretty interesting. Okay. I'll just give the website. There we go. Sorry, it took a minute, but I got it. All right. So now I want to stretch your minds here, and I want to come into our FAQ that we have for our state planning portfolio. Now, what's going to happen here is you're going to go through here, the FAQ. It's going to give you some different details this here. I'm not going to read this 13-page document, but I will highlight some pieces here that I think are pertinent for you. First and foremost, the most common option is the standard trust. All right, so there's options of A/B trust that's there. The standard trust, upon death of the first spouse, any debts, taxes, and expenses are paid in specific bequests of the deceased distributed. 100% of the remaining assets are left in the trust. The surviving spouse can make changes to the trust, including adding, removing, or changing distribution allocations for beneficiaries, adding and removing assets, or even dissolving the trust. All right. That's what's happening in a revocable trust dynamic. The standard trust is a common option for smaller states not concerned with the state taxes, families without significant sole or separate properties, and families without children from a previous relationship. Initially, an A/B trust splits upon death of the first spouse. Standard trust does not. For more information on here, close the box and click on that where it's already here. Then we can go into the A/B trust to understand the difference there and the benefits that it does add. And we do have that as a option there. All right. I'm not going to read through it, but I just want to let you guys know it's there. It goes all the way through the dynamics of different children for previous relationships and the asset protection dynamic. The trust date is important. In fact, that should be part of the name of here. I will read this part here because I think it's pertinent. Let me stop for a second. Oh, you guys are seeing my screen, right? Okay, I switched back and forth. I want to make sure. And just listening to me, except for Renee, because Renee's driving on that side. So trust, the trust date is very important because it effectively becomes part of the name of the trust. That's important. So all future documents and communications, you should refer to your trust both by name and date. For example, the Hatfield Family Trust dated on 10/01/1970. You cannot sign before your trust before this date, right? That's the date that's within the name. Can't sign before. All right. That's why that's in all caps, very important. But you can sign afterwards. Most users simply use today's date. All right, there's the highlights of the trust is there. Do you or your spouse have property that is not community or marital property? All right, that's important. Separate property is usually acquired before marriage. This property may be part of any prenuptial agreement if one exists, but a prenup is not required to have separate properties. Important to know. So if yes is selected, if you select yes, your property / asset will maintain its character. In other words, if it was separate property before it went into the trust, it will remain separate between the two. So you can have I have an example. I have a client who has siblings and their parents died and they had a bunch of properties which were all given to them in portions, like they own like 20% each, right? So that's in the siblings' name. If those siblings are married, it's not in their name. Hopefully that didn't lose you guys. Hopefully that makes sense. So if you have a parent that has 5 kids, I'm gonna say 5 boys for the sake of argument, and the parents die. The boys are now in 30s and 40s. They're siblings, 5 brothers, and they're all married, but they all own that property 20% a piece, and that, let's say it's one property, 20% of it a piece. Yeah, so if they do that, then it's not in their spouse's name, it's in their name. So it will remain also in their name. That's just how it was set in place to be. So hopefully that makes sense. So when you're doing that, you want to be able to set that up for them, and I believe you do that in a AB trust as well. All right, so you have surviving spouse rights. These are all FAQ dynamics that can be addressed here. Do you want to avoid your trust in case of a divorce? What happens there? What about a trustee committee or an individual trustee? What's the difference between having those benefits, cost benefits analysis, or pros and cons? Why do you need to know about disability? This there, because that'll take you remember, I think we were going through that. Someone had mentioned something about special needs before and how you find that. Well, when you're setting up your software, every individual that's going to be within your estate plan, you enter them in to the database. And then as you go along, you get to choose those individuals for various different reasons. And they will ask if any of them are disabled. And you check that box because it's going to, through the intelligent interview process, be able to fulfill and meet those needs and desires that may be there for guardianship or caretaking or whatever is there. So why do you need to know that? It's because of that. I'm kind of highlighting that. What is a contingent beneficiary? It goes through those dynamics, right? That's in case something happens to the other beneficiary. Is there, you have someone in place of that person. When is it okay to have a duplicate beneficiary? We'll explain that, understand the mistakes and warnings around having that situation that's there. What is the maximum amount to inherit? They'll go through that. What is a successor trustee? I told you I wasn't going to hit everything that's there. Why do I need a living will and an advanced medical directive? That's one I think I'm addressing a little bit on this one, but I'll come back to that one because I want to hit the other ones. What does it mean to be able to have, I always say this word wrong. Brian, medical, I need the help on this one. I always say it wrong. And life support. Brian's probably not around. Sorry.
Hey, what'd you say, buddy?
I always say this word wrong.
Oh, resuscitation?
Yeah, I always want to say, Q in there because I see the U. I know how to say resuscitation, but whenever I read it, I always want to say I want to say rescue. I don't know why it always comes out that way. Always
No,
comes
that
out that
sounds
way.
good though.
I want to
But
say cess. I want to say
no,
recuseration is that's the word I always say is recuseration for whatever reason.
oh my
My
God.
mind triggers that way.
No, thanks for
But
calling me out for that one. We'd have all laughed at you if you'd have said that.
yeah, I rather not say it.
Yeah.
Recuseration. Yeah, that's the recuseration guy.
Yeah, that's there. Recuseration, resuscitation, and life support. Yep.
Yeah, resuscitation. Thank you. Got to know what you don't know, right? And the strengths and the weaknesses are there. What do you mean by artificially administering food and liquids? What's meant by that? Emergency transport, pain management. They ask those questions in there when you start going through the health directive and the advanced health directive and all that. Was a bequeath and bequests are there. I'm sorry, and different examples. I want to go through those. What is the family name, right? So that's the dynamic of the terming of the trust. All right, so I'm gone out of the health, so let me go back to the part that I wanted to address. This is, I think, is an important thing because this is also part of the training dynamic, guys. There are some estate plan options that would give you either or. Let's see, hang on. That will give you either a advanced medical directive, which we're going to talk about here, and I think it's somewhere else in here, or a power of attorney for healthcare. So I want to be able to hit this so we can be able to address that as we go along. All right, so why do I need a living will / advanced medical directive? These decisions are difficult and very personal in the best situations. If you're struck down by a serious medical situation, family members will undoubtedly be grief-stricken and make these decisions much more difficult. Feelings and emotions will run high, right? Everybody will have their input, if that's how it goes. And not all family members will be close to be able to have their input to consult on the decision. So many families have been torn apart due to disagreements or simple misunderstandings regarding end-of-life treatment decisions. In addition, without any formal healthcare documents, doctors who attend you may use their own discretion in deciding what kind of medical care you will receive. If there is a question, doctors will usually turn to a close relative for guidance. Friends and unmarried partners who may be more familiar with your wishes are rarely consulted. When there is no healthcare directive, problems often arise when family members disagree about what treatment is best. The worst of these battles are resolved painfully through hospital dispute resolution procedures, or sometimes in court. While making these decisions may be difficult now, it will provide tremendous comfort to your family and friends that they are able to follow your wishes should the unthinkable occur. So that's what the living will and advance directive. And if you ever had surgery, gone under the knife or gone under anesthesia, they will typically ask you if you have one. They will give you even some type of pre-filled form sometimes to fill out if you don't have one before you undergo your said procedure. And let me see if we skipped over the other part, which I don't think we have as of yet. And it may not be listed here, but I will be able to share it with you otherwise. Okay. So what I love about this, guys, is I refer to it as the living benefits of an estate plan. All right. Now, let me ask you an honest question. When you guys read through this, did anyone think, and I'm not saying any ill will, I hope you don't take it that way, but did anybody think of the consequences of not having something like this in place for a young adult child? Because unfortunately, HIPAA regulations come into place, and you have a child that's in their 20s, and God forbid something temporary happens to them, and you don't have something like this in place. Those type of situations that I just read, sorry, I'm pointing over here because the screen's over here. Those type of things that I just read are things that could come in place for your own children. And you're the parent. And in some cases, you may be the parent that's paying for the health insurance that they're using, and you still really don't have no legal say because there's nothing like that in place. So I just wanted to kind of give you that perspective. Claudia, it looks like you're unmuted. Will you want to say something on that? Or maybe not. Sorry. Didn't mean to call you out. No worries. I thought you were. I know you've done many of these, so I thought maybe you were going to say some of that. So sorry about that. All right.
Hey,
So,
Derek. Hey, Derek.
Yes.
Hey, this is Ron again. I do have a question that popped up when you just made that, when you just kind of informed us there. I appreciate that. But I have grandchildren that are in that age group, and they're a part of my estate plan. Now, do I have the flexibility in the plan that I have now to go in and create the living will and set up the advocate medical directives for them as beneficiaries?
That's a great question. I do believe you can do it for dependent children, but I'm not sure if you can do it for grandchildren. And their trigger may be if they're beneficiaries on there. That's a great question, Ron. I have to inquire about that. I'll have to inquire about that.
Can you restate that question?
Sure.
I'm understanding what Ron is asking.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ron, on here, but what he was saying is he has grandchildren who are listed as beneficiaries within his trust. And he wanted to know, with his current software, would he be able to list or set up advanced medical directives for those grandchildren that are listed within his trust? Now, I'll restate my reply back, or my comment back. Great question. I do believe that this is not a problem for children who are dependents, but as it relates to grandchildren who are beneficiaries, I do not know. I'll find out.
I understand.
It's a great question. So yeah, we're gonna.
You were talking about earlier adult children who are not dependent. And as parents, if those adult non-dependent children do not have these things in place, as the parent, there's not a whole lot you can do. Is that what you were saying?
If they don't have an advanced medical directive, right? Because legally, I'll use an example. You have a 22-year-old, right, that
Right.
They can even be a dependent of yours.
Right.
But right, but at that age, HIPAA and all the other regulations that are intact there, you don't have that direct right to be able
I
to
know
do
this
it.
firsthand, not with medical, but with college. When was paying the bills, I had an issue with college, and they would not talk to the parent of my adult child who I'm paying tuition for. I've experienced that firsthand. They said, Mr. Bailey, we understand, because I was hot.
Right. Of course. I think that's called the Ferber law. Ferber, I think is the word. Yep. FERBA, I think is what it's called. On there. So okay. So yeah, I think that's a great question. Let's see. So I think someone's asking the question. I don't think they're giving me the answer. I think they're asking the question, and they're adding to the question that I'm gonna have to ask Ron. They're saying, well, what if he had the guardianship of the grandkids? Is there. So I mean, it's a great question. I believe that you're able to do it for the dependents, regardless of how they're dependents. But great question to ask too, to clarify, to make sure it's on there. All right. So love this, expounding the depth and the breadth of what it is that we're able to offer and what it is we're able to do. All right, let's see here. What else did I want to hit on here? We did that, we talked about that. Family name, we talked about changes. I think we talked about that, but I'll just read through it. Can I make changes after I sign a document? If so, how? So yes, our software allows you to keep complete control over your legacy. You can make unlimited changes, and there are no fees for these changes as long as you have an active subscription, right? That's the annual fee that's there. Once you create, print, and sign your trust, it is a legal document. Any changes, obviously, we know we can do it digitally as well. Any changes must be in the form of either an amendment or reinstatement. An amendment is a separate document that is an add-on to your trust. A reinstatement is a new trust that replaces your old one, but keeps the old name, so you do not have to move your assets. Yes. Yes, Claudia, the answer is yes. Let's see. You can make changes using either method. The software subscription you purchase supports unlimited reinstatements as long as you have an active subscription. All you need to do is to notify support that you want to turn on reinstatement mode. All right, so with one exception, you cannot convert change additions. You cannot convert / change additions. So a married addition to guaranteed trust, to guarantors, sorry, should be plural, trust, or to have a two guaranteed trust will always be that. In case of a divorce, a new trust must be purchased by both spouses. It's a key note. I'm gonna leave that right there for everybody to chew on for a second. You finished chewing? All right, that's important to know. All right, software defaults to create a new trust mode rather than reinstatement. In other words, the document generated are for a new trust. Once you have printed and signed your trust, if you want to make changes, as reinstatement, you need to notify support to convert your account to reinstatement mode. It takes only a few seconds, and you can start creating your reinstated trust. All right, so once this change is made to the system, you can make changes, any changes you want. All right, you can add or remove beneficiaries, change bequests. This there, you can change the distribution amounts, add or remove disinherited individuals. Then you can print the new documents that's there. Once you sign it, move on, and without needing to refund or move any assets or whatever. Right, replace old ones if needed. Be able to do all that. All right, I got no questions, no hands raised, no comments. This on it. All right, very good. Very good. All right. So Tim Harris, yes, sir. Hand raised.
Yep. Question. Say for instance, you got a wife, she's a widow, husband died, but he had kids. And she wanted to disinherit somebody on one of his kids on his side. How would that work?
So what you're talking about, well, once he dies, you're not able to disinherit the kids on that side for that trust. Are you saying she's trying to disinherit from whatever she has afterwards?
Yeah. Now
She's
he
widow?
passed away. He passed away, and then she gets a trust. But he was stating to her he wanted to leave something behind for his side, which is the kids, maybe a child. But when he passed away, she got her trust and wanted to do what she wanted to do, but disinherited his side of the kids on his side.
Yeah, he can't do that. She can't do that because once they're going to get whatever they're supposed to get. She's not going to be able to make a change after he dies and disinherit them so they don't get anything from him.
Right, if with a co-grantor trust, before he passes away,
Right.
create a co-grantor passes away, she cannot go in and change that.
Right.
Or can she go in and change that? That was the question.
No, what with a revocable trust, once a person dies, it becomes an irrevocable trust. And you can't change anything. It's going to distribute things as it was dictated to distribute.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question too, Derek. I wanted to ask if the husband that died, did he have a trust in place when he died?
Yeah,
Specified.
I think the question was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Team Harris there. I think the question was, a husband and wife have a trust set up. Maybe they have an AB trust, whatever they have. They have a trust set up. Then the husband has kids from a previous, life.
Yes.
That's there. All right. And then the husband dies. Can the surviving widow spouse disinherit those children off of that trust? The answer is no, because because that trust now is going to now disperse things as
he specified.
as right.
Oh, but Derek, it's a co-grantor trust. So if both of them own the trust, both of them were the grantors. If the husband passes away, doesn't she then become the successor trustee of that trust? You said it becomes irrevocable, but her stuff is still in there too.
Right, but the things that he that is set up for him that is supposed to be dispersed when he dies.
So if it's an A and B trust?
A and B, if it's an A and B trust, yeah. Say it again.
No,
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, if it's an A and B trust, that you're going to have in, then yes, it's going to do that. But let me talk to you outside of an AB trust, okay?
Okay.
So let's say that you have a husband. I'm going to stick to the narrative. We have a husband and wife, right? And the husband passes away, but the husband says, "Look, all right, my vacation home I'm giving to, you know, my daughter from a previous relationship, and that's my vacation home. I'm giving that to them. You know, that's what's in my trust when I die. So he dies. That's going to be executed because that's what was listed for that particular asset and how it's supposed to be distributed. So that was actually, that would have to be an AB trust as well anyway, because it's separate properties is there in order to denote that. But that would have to be executed. Am I making sense? Are you following on that?
Yeah. We good.
Okay.
You got
Yeah.
another question, Rick? I got another question.
Yeah.
They,
Yes, sir.
They don't have a trust. The couple does not have a trust. And the husband dies. And then the wife gets a trust. Can she disinherit his kids from the trust?
Yes.
Well, but if the wife gets a trust, she doesn't even have to put them in the trust
Right.
That's what I
to
need to know.
disinherit them in the first place.
Right. That's what I need to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's not obligated. You get a trust. You can do whatever you want to do. I mean, that's why we have one of our, did you guys, let me share. Did you, where is it? Let me share this with you real quick. And this is part of this. I just want to share this with you real quick. So we think it's going to be real quick. Want to get out of that. Why is that? There we go. So these videos are there for a reason, but I'm going to share. We'll share one with you that I don't see, and I wonder why I don't see it. Oh, there it is. It's right in front of me. So watch this, and I'm going to explain this based upon what you just said.
All my assets, both liquid and otherwise, I leave in their entirety to Marta Cabrera. My entire ownership of Blood Like Wine Publishing, I leave in its entirety to Marta Cabrera. The copyright of its catalog, likewise, I leave in its entirety to Marta Cabrera.
No. That's not, no, that can't be.
No.
Can I see that, please, Alan?
That's right.
Please.
This can't be legal.
It's right. He's been,
Oh my God.
he's been.
Aren't there safeguards? There's an estate.
I don't know what to say. We're his family, so.
It's not possible.
There's safeguards against this. Right. Fine, something. I think.
So, so I don't know if that's one of you guys' first time seeing that, but we got a lot of those type of things that are in there, and that addressed, that's the power of wishes. That's what we have listed there on here. Sorry, I exited out, didn't mean to, but there it is. So that's the power of wishes. He has his the wishes of what he wanted to do. And, you know, the family like, hey, where's family? That can't be right. Can this be legal? All those things there, but they left it to Martha. Martha got it all, and Martha was like, don't give it to me. I didn't even want it, but that was the deal was there. So we're going to have fun with those type of things and send those type of things out, stuff like that, to be able to bring things through. But that's the power of the dynamics of what we're putting in place, guys, on there. And so once you have it in there and set it in there, that's the power. Alan was just reading. He's like, look, I'm the executor. I'm reading this deal. Here's how it's what his wishes are, and this is what's going to happen. Come on, family, to sit down. And they weren't happy. Ain't nothing they could do about it. Because the written word is there to be able to have that. So, at any rate, I just want to, when you said that, it kind of reminded me of that particular piece that was there. So, for a second, I lost my document. There it is. All right, so yeah, so that's the dynamic here, how to convert your account to print read. All right, so WTA, Wealth Transfer Alliance, I want you guys to, I want to communicate here with you. Please don't try to jerry-rig the system. Here's what I'm saying to those who are live here and those who are going to listen to this recorded. You do not want to mess up the chain of custody of the estate planning software. What do I mean by that? You don't want to go through it and say, okay, I'm going to create a sheet and I'm going to do this stuff for people. I'm going to get their password, their usernames, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do it for them. While you think you may be doing a great help and helping them and going through there and doing that, even if you get them to sign off on a document that, hey, I give this such and such approval to be able to trust me on this. If something comes back and family members are like that situation and they find out that you the one that put that together and you went in there and you had the username and passwords and they do some computer forensics and they see that you and your IP address logged in and did all the estate planning for them, I don't think that family is not going to, if they're upset and disgruntled about it, they're going to come after you and some other stuff. This is not that game. Okay. So please follow it. Don't try to be slicker, than the average bear, and try to get some other things going on there. Let the people do it. They can do it. Trust me. I watched my 78-year-old mom go through it and do it herself. They can do it. They will do it. So I'm just saying all that because there's going to be some good-hearted people who want to do everything for all their clients and do everything that's there for them, and then give it back over to them and have, there's no, don't do it. Somebody will end up being in a healthcare medical situation, and no, just there's all kinds of things that go wrong with that. Hopefully I spelled that out good enough and you guys are understanding what I'm saying. We want to keep that, pure. All right. I think enough said on that side. Okay. This is important about, what is titled property and what isn't. Very important dynamics is here. I'm just going to read what's underlined here. You can feel free to grab this document when it comes up in the documents in the back office, but failure to transfer ownership of titled assets will require heirs to go to probate court. All right. Now, that's probate court in every particular state and location that those that property is domicile, or that asset is domicile. Okay, it's just not in your home location. So I got a question in the chat. What if I have a client that English is a second language? How can I help that particular client? I didn't say you can help the client. What I'm, if you're talking about my last comment, I want to be clear on that. I'm saying you can go in and you go with the client and help the client. What I'm saying is you don't do it for the client, is what I'm saying on there. But yes, if you want to help a client, because yes, unfortunately, I'm going to say something that hopefully is not taken the wrong way. As far as I know, contracts that are ratified and signed within the United States and that notaries sign off on, and things that are legal documents, they're, I believe, always written in English. I'm not sure if there are, and maybe there are, and I don't know. And maybe we need to help on that. Are there any real estate agents or anybody? Do you do real estate documents and title documents in other languages here in the U.S. other than English? Does anybody know? I don't think you do it in anything other than English. There's no mortgage documents. Do you fill out mortgage documents? Can you get them done in Taiwanese and other languages? I don't believe so. But if somebody knows differently, I'm almost positive that's not the case. I'm looking and I don't see my normal real estate mortgage people on there. But I think all that stuff is in English. And yet there are people that English is a second language and they own homes. Right? That didn't stop them from owning a home. It didn't stop them from signing the agreement on getting a car or in that. And so this is going to follow the same suit. Our marketing material and other stuff, we're going to all have that translated this there. So yes, you can help them. I'm just saying it's not do it for them. Hopefully that answered that question for the person who asked it there. Great question. All right, so I want to make sure I didn't lose you guys in this. Remember, title property has to be funded within the trust. If not, it will go through the probate court in where it, okay, thank you, in where it is domiciled. Okay, so that's a big deal. It's a deal that you should be aware of and know. So let's talk about this piece in closing here on this. What is personal property and what it isn't? That's important. So a title is a document proving ownership of an asset, such as the title on your car or the deed on your home. Personal property personal property are only items without a title, such as TVs, computers, jewelry, and etc. The stuff around your house. An asset with a title, such as a vehicle or real estate, is not personal property. This is all the dynamics in trust language and how things work in estate plans, right? So personal property is automatically transferred into your trust by a blanket statement included in the documents. This transfer of ownership into the trust is called funding the asset. However, title assets must be retitled, showing the trust as the new owner. Let me just pause right there for a second. You can also fund the trust in being being a beneficiary of certain things, like a life insurance policy, like a TSP or 401k or 403b or mutual fund or stocks or a bank account or stuff like that. So I just want to be clear on that. I don't want to get confused there. Where did I drop off? First property is on blanket document. All right, failure to transfer ownership of title assets will require heirs to go through probate, right? Which is we're trying to get everybody off probate to get the property transferred under the pour over will. Probate is process that can become an expensive and time-consuming burden for your heirs, but it can be avoided easily by creating and fully funding your trust. If you want to make a special request of your assets, the process is different depending on the type of ownership. Personal property can be transferred by adding to your memorandum of personal property without amending your trust. Good to know. However, for title property, the bequeath of the assets must be written into the trust directly, and the property must be retitled so the trust is the owner. It is very important that, okay, got it. It is very important that you classify the property correctly on the special bequeath tab, so it can be listed in the appropriate place in the estate documents. Failure to properly classify the assets, such as trying to bequeath title property as personal property, will invalidate the bequeath or bequest and result in the asset being divided amongst all beneficiaries according to the share of the trust. In most cases, this results in heirs fighting over the assets and sometimes even results in lawsuits. One of the greatest benefits of having a trust is saving your heirs the burdens of expensive probate court, understanding personal property versus title property, and classifying your property correctly is vital in making sure your assets are transferred according to your wishes after death. Funding your trust is the process of transferring assets into your trust so that your heirs do not have to go through probate. However, the process differs depending upon the type of asset or the asset type. So we have included an extensive funding kit. That's why that's there for you to help you through that process. And the funding kit has more information on it, which we all know about that. All right, so it looks like someone has put in the chat.
That was me, Derek. I sent you an article on that question. I sent it to you for you to look at. We're all CFAs here if you want to put it out, but I sent it to you. It's an article about estate planning documents in non-English speaking clients. I haven't read it, but I just shared it. I just pulled it up while you were talking.
Okay, yeah, it'd be good, something to go through for certain on that as well, as I'm sure that's a big deal on there. Thank you for that. Public information, I'm a freedom of information guy. So,
and I sent it to you because I want you to vet it first.
Yeah. We'll go through it. I appreciate that. All right. So thank you for that. I appreciate all of that. So guys, listen, there are so many different levels and of things here. And if if you haven't checked out our videos in that regards, like the one I just showed you earlier, there's others that are there, and we have some other ones that we're going to provide training wise as well. And let me not forget here, because I've talked to at least 3 people that were somewhat mixed up here. The library is not just documents. Okay, the library also has videos that are there as well. So I want to make sure you guys are understanding that. Okay, so there are documents here, but there are also videos here as well. Okay, and we put it there, like this one, for example. I just pulled it out, probate. Pull it here, set into play. What's this going to pop over at the wrong window? I just brought it over.
Derek, I know you got multiple screens, so we see you right now.
That's all you see is me?
Yeah.
Thank you,
Actually,
Brian.
I see the gallery. I see everybody.
Yeah,
It's
the
not
gallery and
shared.
you, but we don't see a screen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not shared. Here we go.
Thank you for
There
that.
we go.
I got too many screens, man. I'm going cross-eyed over here.
Yeah, I know you got like 3 or 4 screens.
I'm gonna minimize this for a second. So what I was sharing was this earlier when I thought I was sharing. I went to the library and I was saying that all these files in the library are not just documents. All right, these files are also videos, and it's not just these 3 are links, but some of them are downloads. And I clicked on this probate one and downloaded it. And when I did, this popped up.
It may surprise you to know that everyone has an estate plan. It's either the government's plan of probate or a custom plan called a revocable living trust.
Okay, I'm not going to go through that because we all seen it all the way through. But I just wanted people to be aware, because I think I talked to like 3 people in the last couple of days where they just thought these were all documents. And let me just say this, they didn't say this. So I'm not saying this about them, but in general, I know one thing about people: they typically don't like to read. They like to skim. And it's like, man, this is too much skimming here. And so they didn't look at it. So, but I wanted to make sure that you guys go through there, and there's some videos. Hey, you can watch something and let it read to you. And while showing you some nice pictures, right? To go through it so that you can be able to learn on that. So I just wanted to point that out in case that was overlooked, based upon those conversations that's there. So, and that is my big to-do of what I wanted to be able to share there. Yes, sir.
Right there. Go back down to the bottom. All the way to the bottom. Yeah, y'all see those success steps down there? Those are important. When you get a chance, take a look at those when you get a chance. Those are some good documents. They'll kind of help you navigate the steps that we take when it comes to the corporate benefits. So when you log into your back office, those steps to success down at the bottom. If you're looking to turn in businesses to the corporate benefits side, then that'll tell you where you are in the process, and I give you a guide of those steps. And we'll train on it, of course, but I just loaded those in there not long ago. I emailed it to some of you who already got deals in the pipe, but I just wanted those of you who don't have any deals in the pipe to know that that's there, so you can start putting your eyeballs on it and understand those steps to the corporate benefits.
Wonderful.
Brian, where are the trainings, like this recording? Once we're done, where can I locate this?
So they will be here as well. As you can see, we have the training for this one. We're behind on some of those because we're trying to figure out if we want to put them as links. So these currently are links, but we're going to change them into files to upload because the links are, you know, they're we want to make sure that we have the constitute of the document of the actual training in there and improper. So, but these, we thought the information was pertinent enough to not remove until we can actually replace them. So, but you'll find them here and they'll be there.
That's fine. I just thought it was me. We record a lot, and I've been looking for some stuff, and I didn't want to ask a question because I thought maybe I just
No,
was missing
you're
something.
no, you're spot on.
Okay.
Here. It's just been, you know, everything in the kitchen sink,
No
dynamics
worries.
and you know, our first order of business is that comp engine as we're going along. So every waking moment, we're making sure that that comes on and comes on right. But we're going to get that in there because we do want you guys to grab this type of information and to be, you know, I love going through trainings on my own. At times I'm the guy, I put it on double speed, you know, and I just, because I want to be able to catch it. And, you know, I know when people speak faster, it makes me pay more attention. And so, you know, and be able to catch it. And so when I slow it down, man, they just sound really slow after a while, you know, because I watch it so fast, but I can absorb it a lot quicker. And I do it repetitively. So I understand wanting to be able to do that, and repetition is the mother of all learning. And we want you to have that in place as well. So very good. So this is the place to go, and it will become larger as we go along. And you can also categorize it, you know, as you're going through and trying to search for them as well. So to be able to do that. Yours doesn't look like this because this is where we download, we can remove and edit because this is the admin. So yours looks a little bit different. All right. With that being said, Mr. Brown Rowley, you have anything to close us out? We're an hour and 20 some odd minutes into it. I think we hit just about everything.
Yeah, I think we did. Can you hear me okay?
Hear you loud and clear. Okay, there was another reference. Okay, got it. From JSG. I like that initials. I'm sorry. Hopefully that's okay to call you that just for the moment.
So you say you got me, everybody?
We'll grab that one there. Say it again.
Oh, let me cut my speakers on. Hold on a second. All right. Gotcha. Can you hear me okay now?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, I had to make some changes on. I had a phone in there and I had myself on a computer, but I'm getting a good signal, so I'm good. Now, I just wanted to say, you know, thank you for the training as always, you know, taking us through that. It's good to look at those details, very important. And the good news is, you know, there's no lack of clients for us to help. You know, don't think of estate planning as simply something for the seniors. I think Jean, and I don't know if she's still on the call tonight. I don't see her.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, there you are. There you are. Jean and I was talking about that today. And we were just saying, there's no lack of clients. We don't want to make estate planning seem like something just for people who are thinking about leaving a legacy. The older clientele, that's not our demographic at all. We can get anybody from age 18 all the way through because we have those living benefits in there along with those legacy benefits. So what are those living benefits? Well, Derek talked about a lot of them tonight. Everything along with that healthcare line, having your certificate of trust, your financial power of attorney, your last will and testament. Anybody who has anything, you know, can start thinking about this legacy. They can set up some life insurance. They got 401k plans, they got IRAs. All of these things are part of their estate plan. So we have an unlimited market to tap into. And I just think that's just good news. So I'm glad that you took some time, Derek, to train on that. And also I wanted to give a shout out to, I was on a call today with one of our advocates, VIP advocates, Rod. And Rod had a gentleman who owns a bunch of group homes. His name is Dr. Gregory. I forgot his last name, but Dr. Gregory said he had about 30, 40 plus, what do you call it, employees. And it was simple. You know, we put in the initial documentation, everything went through just fine. We did his payroll, pulled his payroll, got back the report, got him on the Zoom with our TPA, our third-party administrator. Sean sat there and went through everything with him. He was like this the whole time, you know, just taking it all in. Said, absolutely, I want to move forward. What I need to sign.
And then so we sent them over some signatures. Said if this thing could work as good as I think it's going to work, I'm going to really spread the word on this. This is phenomenal. So it's just amazing how many great opportunities we have out there to take advantage of on both spectrums, with many more verticals to come in the future. So all of you have the key to this opportunity. This is your business. You are an independent business owner. Just sell yourself every day. I like to say I'm in service, not sales, but I do sell myself every day. I got the acronym SELL. What I do first, I subscribe. You make sure you're a product of the product. You subscribe. Then find other people who want to subscribe to our software. All right. Then next you want to enroll. That's the E. You want to enroll what? VIPs. You want to start thinking about that. Some of you are starting now to build your teams. That's smart because you're leveraging your time through the efforts of others. And then the other L stands for you want to learn. So I don't have to say anything about learning because here you are today at the WTA Academy, learning. So you want to do that. And last, you want to lead. So SELL. All right. You want to lead. How do you lead? You lead by example because you want to be there for the people that you're enrolling, and you want to be able to lead those folks and be available for those folks. So don't worry about selling or worry about servicing. You service people, you'll make the money, but you have to sell yourself. So make sure you do that SELL every day and you'll be just fine. I know that was fast, but I hope you caught it. Was that good?
Got it. That was awesome, man.
My man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Woman and all my friends. We appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
I'm
I
done.
appreciate
Did I
it.
freeze?
Hey, you froze for a moment, but we got you back.
Did I freeze up?
That was our training, guys. It was fantastic. Let's see.